Hey, my YouTube posse. I just thought I'd stop in for you guys to do the reading for my Fire Tribe babies, kicking off the month of April, seeing as we are in Aries season. So I figured I'd start with my Fire Tribe gang. Team Gryffindor, I'm actually trying something new with this whole setup and vibe that I've got going on at the minute. So definitely be sure to just kind of comment down below and let me know how you're liking the new vibe, how you like the new setup, and just how you're able to effectively utilize the information that I will be providing you in today's reading. And definitely also be sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you can be kept in the know when I do upload these awesome videos for you guys, because we want to sort of make this a regular thing, but I'm just kind of like testing the waters, seeing what the vibe is like, seeing what the space is like, seeing how responsive you guys are to this whole atmosphere and setting, because I haven't done live readings for a minute. And this is a whole sort of like comeback, if you will. So let me know how you guys are liking the comeback vibe, for one. And just so you guys know, quick disclaimer, as per usual, these are going to be general readings for my fire tribe. So that would be Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, and Rising babies. Now, because these are going to be general readings, they're not going to resonate with everyone. Okay, so if they do not resonate, just let it dissipate. Okay, but if it does resonate, again, just comment down below and let me know how you've been able to effectively utilize the info. Right, we've got a whole setup going. We're going to sort of like get the ambiance lit so that we can dive into it. I've got my banners ready to kind of dive into this space with you guys. I'm like getting my hair all out my face, guys. But yes, I've got everything in the background nice and ready for you guys to bring back the vibe and ambiance. So hope you guys like it. Let's get into it. Hopefully you guys can still hear me. I am going to wet my throat every so often to be able to, make sure that I can properly articulate and project, seeing as, the vibe is kind of what it is at the minute. I do have a mic as well, so I'm going to try maybe the next time I come into the space utilizing my mic and see if that helps the projection, because I like the music going in the background. That was a whole little thing that we used to do before, if you guys remember, from my old school gang. And I want to sort of like bring back that whole setting, because I feel like that was dope. So yeah. We're gonna go and get all up into it. So we're gonna start with the energy reading for the month. So we want to know what is the overall energy for the month of April for my fire tribe gang. Okay, you guys are sort of by the looks of it, the theme somewhat is directive, or trying to get some sort of direction based on things that you may have once been indecisive about. So that may be something that you guys are actually navigating through in the undertone of this month, indecision, basically. So let's kind of get a full scope. So what is the overall energy for my fire tribe babies for the month of April? What is the overall energy for my fire tribe gang? Fire tribe. Okay, sun, moon, and rising. You guys have got some insight. Let's have a look and see what's going on for you guys. So the overall energy, interesting. You guys are actually navigating through the yin energy. You guys are working on inner love. You guys are working on self-love. You guys are actually working on being able to balance your self-love, or being able to balance your self-love and not be offensive, I guess, in the process. You're really tapping into your goddess-like energy. You're really sort of tapping into your intuitive senses. You're tapping into your subconscious awareness of your environment around you, and really kind of expressing from your inner self how you are loving yourself differently. Because what I'm seeing, so with this overall energy, I'm seeing that you're really having to articulate sort of like where you are on your journey right now in terms of how people are engaging with you. And you are having to basically let them know where you are in opposed to where they have been used to engaging with you before. So you're probably having to like set really strict boundaries during the month of April with the people in your atmosphere and your environment and surroundings, and also sort of making sure that you're in keeping with those boundaries for yourself as well, because you're really sort of like tapping into your intuitive senses on a deeper layer of yourself, and the overall energy is pretty much knowing when not to take action and knowing when to be proactive. So you're very selective, you're picking your battles very wisely, and you're being intuitively guided as you're navigating through it. And you're making sure that you're doing so from a place of self-love. So it's not just about the unconditional love that you're expressing to others, but it's more about the love that you feel for yourself, that you want to be able to engage with on a deeper level. And you're just literally having those conversations, having it out with people. I'm hearing like you guys are literally having it out with people, like, do not cross me, let's not do this, let's not go there. But you're being very clear cut about it, you know. Yeah, you're also going to be learning about what actions aren't necessary for you to take as well. Like, you're going to be intuitively guided about some of your actions that may be out of alignment with love, as you're trying to clarify this self-love experience that you're having with yourself and going deeper into that self-love experience that you're having with yourself. So yeah, the overall energy, it seems, is self-love and learning how to pick your battles wisely, and also being able to articulate effectively as well. That's interesting, guys. Interesting. Let me know how you guys actually feel about that. Comment down below and let me know how, you know, that's actually sort of like playing out in your month of April thus far. And we can go ahead and get deeper into all of this awesomeness, my loves. Do bear in mind as well that you can also get access to the extended readings by my website. It's running across the screen now. It's www.countesslyconnected.com, where I'll be able to really unpack the week-to-week scope and dive into the hopes and fears for my Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius Sun, Moon, and Rising babies. You guys can literally get access to either rent the video for as little as £2 a month, well, for as little as £2, and you can either buy the video for £3, or you can actually subscribe to my channel on my website for as little as £5 a month, basically. Getting tongue twisted here, guys. Let's bring the music down a little bit, because that's like getting all up into my channeling. So let's go ahead and dive a little bit deeper into some stuff for you guys. So what we're going to do, we're going to sort of like unpack a little bit of what's taking place for you guys throughout this month, with this self-love stuff, and really being able to learn how to balance it, because what's going on the inside is now going to be projecting externally, and certain things you're going to learn that maybe you regret taking those actions. So it's going to be interesting. All right, let's go ahead and dive deep into it. Where are my Aries babies? Let's have a little look, because we're going to go into your mental first. So where are my Aries? Not my Aries. Where are my fire tribe babies? Team Gryffindor. Where are my fire tribe babies for the month of April? It's good. Okay, fire tribe. It's interesting, right? Because you guys have got the Queen of Pentacles and the Two of Cups vibes, guys. Right? I don't know if you guys can like probably see that. Yeah. So it seems as though you guys are actually learning how to really ground your partnerships. You're really learning how to be a little bit more meticulous in the way that you're engaging in your partnerships. You're also really being a little bit more calculated in the way that you are engaging with the people around you. one of the things that I'm seeing is that you have been confused, and some of you maybe are still hella confused about some of these partnerships, and how you're actually engaging with certain people, maybe even in terms of romance, particularly for some of you guys who may be dealing with a lot of confusion because there may be a lot of back and forth, which isn't necessarily making things all the way clear. But it seems as though you're actually learning a little bit more about how to ground that. So mentally, you're at the place where you're focusing on how to balance your partnerships, not just romantically for some of you guys. So I'm seeing like business partnerships as well. You're learning how to not taint your business partnerships. You're learning how to not let some of your previous, I want to say, dysfunctional patterns lap over into your business partnerships as well. And it seems as though for some of you guys, you may still be a little bit confused or maybe indecisive about certain business decisions that you may need to make. So the mental perspective is balancing your confusion, your distortion, your indecision when it comes to romantic partnerships, business partnerships, friendships as well. It seems like things are a little bit more even as I say that, I'm kind of like feeling the energy. So maybe for some of you guys, even in friendships, you may be sort of trying to figure out what is the best course of action to take to be able to balance things out a little bit. I'm seeing maybe there might have been certain situations for some of you guys in friendships where it was one thing to the face and something else behind the back is what I'm hearing. Like they were being a little bit two-faced. That's just what I'm hearing. So some of you guys are like navigating through some sort of like two-faced situation, and it's playing up on your mind mentally in terms of some of your friendships that you've been sort of like navigating through, or that you will be navigating through the month of April. But you seem to be on your boss shit, for lack of a better way of putting it. You seem to be on your boss shit. You're on your Queen of Pentacles vibe. You seem to be fully aware of what it is that you're wanting to manifest. It's just a little bit confusing as to how to be able to manifest it, because you're having to work with certain people that may be not as cooperative as you would like. So that may be a part of the tricky situation that you're navigating through. But we already know that the overall energy of this month is goddess vibe. So you want to keep that same energy, you want to keep that same momentum sort of like going, and be conservative, pick your battles wisely in terms of partnerships, because that's literally where I see you guys mentally. Yeah. Let's have a little look and see what's actually going on beneath the surface, guys. Let's have a look and see what's going on for you guys emotionally. Now, the emotional position is always a little bit more tricky in a lot of different ways. So let's see if your emotions are actually aligning with your thought process. Because your thought process seems like, you actually are wanting to be practical about your partnerships and how you're engaging in them. Where are my fire tri babies for the month of April? Okay. So for the month of April, again, you guys are on job. You guys are like literally just on business, man. Emotionally, you guys are pretty much feeling like your King of Pentacles vibe. So you guys are literally at that place where you are pretty much tapping into your leadership. You're emotionally, you're cool, calm, and collected about the way that you're manifesting things. You are tapping into these subtle realms of your conscious awareness. So there may be things that you can see that's taking place in your environment. There's things that you may be picking up on. Your senses may be receptive to certain, how can I put it? To certain realms. I don't know how else to put it. They're showing me like you're tapping into certain things that maybe people aren't necessarily seeing consciously, and you're really sort of like unlocking that, but you're being how can I put it, you're being meticulous in the way that you're doing it, or you're being some of you may be doing sort of like covert work within your partnerships. Others of you may be very direct in terms of how you're dealing with situations, but that's because you can see what's going on a subconscious level, and you know what team players or relationships you can actually what relationships you can actually engage with, in what kind of dynamics you can engage with those relationships as well. So yeah, you kind of got your high priest energy or your high priest vibe as the undertone of your emotion, and you are basically projecting yourself as the King of Pentacles vibe, where you are grounded emotionally, you are emotionally astute. Astute, they corrected me there. You're emotionally astute, and you are pretty much just kind of like, you have this knowing that you may not know how things are going to pan out, but you actually trust and believe in yourself. You trust and believe in what you can do with the situation. You trust and believe in what you can do to be able to shift the narrative of certain things. You're aware of that, and that is your main focus. That is keeping you grounded. That is keeping you cool, calm, and collected. Okay, which isn't a bad place to be. So that's what's up, guys. That's dope. Okay, so let's go even deeper into this and have a little look to see what path you guys are actually crossing spiritually as well. So, where are my fire tribe babies in terms of the path that they're crossing spiritually for the month of April? Okay. What path are my fire tribe babies? Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. What path are they crossing for the month of April? As clearly as you can. Okay, guys. So we do have some insight. Let's have a look and see. So, the path that you guys are crossing spiritually. Oh wow. Okay, so you guys are having to make a lot of very serious decisions. A lot of you guys are doubtful. You guys aren't necessarily feeling too confident about some of the decisions that you're making. You don't necessarily feel all the way confident in some of the decisions that you have made, because it's kind of left you in a position where you are now being in a position to sort of like, you're being isolated basically. And it's not a bad thing. I wouldn't say that it's a bad thing, but it seems as though the path that you're crossing, this is a pretty big transition for you. This is a pretty big major arcana, if you will, because literally all of the cards that you've got in your spiritual path, the direction that you're moving into, are major arcanas. We've got the Strength card, the Lovers cards, and the Hermit. Okay, guys, the Strength card and the Hermit cards in reverse. So this is letting me know that you guys aren't necessarily feeling the most powerful, because of the fact that you do have to be in isolation, and maybe you do want to sort of like have a bit of a companionship. You know, you may want to. Okay, so some of you guys, it's like some of your decisions in terms of, again, romance may be very critical. It may be like crippling for you almost during the month of April, as you're navigating through some of these self-love challenges that are actually sort of showing up for you guys. Don't doubt yourself. Don't doubt yourself. What I will say is that a lot of the decisions that you are making and will make, that is going to continue to kind of like leave you in isolation. Bear in mind, the whole world is on lockdown. Okay, we get little like recess moments and time to go out and enjoy ourselves every so often. So this isn't a personal reflection as far as you as the individual. This is more of a collective experience. Like, we've been put on timeout, guys. So whilst we're experiencing this timeout situation, Spirit's asking you to really work on your confidence, really work on your self-worth issues, because some of the decisions that you've been making has been due to your low self-esteem. Some of the decisions that you've been making has been due to the fact that you don't necessarily see the value that you bring into certain partnerships. And Spirit wants you to be able to understand that if someone isn't going to treat you to the value that you bring to the relationship, that's not necessarily something that you need to engage in. You don't have to feel sad about it. You don't have to, I guess, be bitter about it either. It's actually something that's happening for your overall best good. You know, it may not feel like that in the moment. But again, some of those lost loves, as the song sort of says, are really just actually helping you to be able to see more about your love and your self-love and what you're capable of doing. And as you vocalize a little bit more about, you know, what you're learning in this self-love class, you may lose some people along the way, you know, and also equally for them, you may not necessarily find the balance straight away as you're navigating through this self-love stuff. So some of you may be like self-centered and egotistical as you're navigating through the month of April, and that may be something that's leaving you again in isolation because nobody wants to be around that shit, right? For others of you, you are too coy. It's to the point where you're not even necessarily sort of like speaking up for yourself, or you feel like if you do speak up for yourself, you're scared that people are going to leave you behind. So what? If they do, guess what? You have yourself. That's the only person that you have forever, ever in life. And that's okay too. You know, the path that you're crossing spiritually is learning how to be confident in the decisions that you are making, even though they may leave you in a position where you are navigating through withdrawal symptoms. Okay, withdrawal from relationships, withdrawal from you know, people, places, and things, as it is, as we walk this, you know, human journey. Yeah, guys, this is very interesting for you guys, man. It seems like you guys are actually going to be navigating through quite a bit. What we're going to do for you guys is check out the recommended scripture for you guys, to see what, I guess, you know, spirit advises for you guys to do as you're navigating through the month of April. Okay. Right, let's have a little look. What is the recommended scripture for my fire tribe babies for the month of April? All right, this is your spiritual grounding recommendation. Okay, so what is the overall scripture for my fire tribe babies for the month of April? Yeah, okay. Release your cares to God. So for some of you guys, this is what you need to do, but you're not actually practicing doing it. You're not practicing releasing some of the things. So you see like how your spiritual path is, you know, God kind of like helping you to navigate through rejection as a means of him to be able to protect you from people that aren't going to be able to see your worth and accommodate your worth and treat you to the value of your worth. God wants you to be able to release your cares to him. And the recommended scripture for you guys is Psalms chapter 55 verse 6. And it reads, "Oh, that I had wings like a dove, then I would fly away and rest." Okay? So the recommended scripture for you guys to help you to release your cares to God is Psalms chapter 55 verse 6. Okay, stay woke in really sort of like learning how to embody that scripture, because there's incoming blessings that are coming your way, and sometimes we don't necessarily know all the way what God is doing in our lives, but we still are very reactive to the things that he's doing to be able to help us to, you know, fulfill some of the things that we've asked, fulfill some of the wishes that we've been putting out there. You know, sometimes my guys tell me all the time, be careful what you wish for, because like we wish for things and we are anticipating that it's going to show up how we want it to show up. And of course, it shows up how God feels it's necessary for us to be able to have the most growth and exponential personal development for our soul's purpose in this lifetime. So release your cares to God, utilizing Psalms 55, verse 6. Okay, my loves. We are going to if you will, have a look at the stress less recommendation for you guys. And then we'll close out the space, guys, with your romance guidance for my single, taken, and those fire tribe babies who are in complicated situationships, because I don't judge and I get that we all need love. So it is what it is, man. I'm going to pull some cards for y'all, and y'all can take away whatever it is that you need to take away from it. Okay? Let's have a little look for you guys firstly and see what is the overall stress test recommendation for my fire tribe babies for the month of April. What is the okay? God, you guys have a bunch of stress test recommendations. So there might be quite a few things that you guys are actually going through during the month of April. You guys have got 4 cards, so you might want to pay attention to your thoughts. That's one of the things that sort of like come up. So pay attention to your thoughts. Some of the thoughts that may be sort of like negative chatter in the back of your subconscious mind. Tell yourself that you're great when those thoughts sort of come up. You know, write down a list if you need to of things that you like about yourself and things that you feel that you excel at, so that you can really understand more about how you actually speak to yourself, how you speak about yourself, how you're engaging with yourself, what it is that you're actually sort of like doing to feed some of these thought patterns that keep showing up when you find yourself in certain emotionally strenuous situations, right? And walk slowly as you're navigating through this journey. Walk slowly as you're navigating through this path so that you can observe some of these thought patterns. Like sometimes when I'm sat with myself, I am literally in a place where, you know, it's like sorry, I'm gonna like switch up the vibe, because obviously we've moved on to the stress less recommendation, and that's what we're working on at the minute, physical grounding. So um sometimes it's a little bit challenging to ground ourselves physically, based on where we are mentally. And sometimes we might find ourselves going into certain thought patterns or processes that we didn't necessarily mean to, but it's just that our feelings are so overwhelming and we find ourselves going down certain mind mazes. And before we know it, we find ourselves in depression and we're stuck in that rut, and we are struggling to get ourselves out, and we may be in depression for a good couple of days. For some people, it may be a couple of weeks. For others, it may be like a couple of hours of a downward spiral, and then they're right back up. You know, they don't stay under the waters of the emotions for too long, but you have to go through the process slowly in terms of being able to overstand a little bit more about how you're emotionally engaging with your environment and how that's actually triggering and stimulating certain thought patterns within yourself. Okay, it's going to be crucial to the way that you're able to self-soothe moving forward, is what I'm getting. Okay, my loves. So all of that awesomeness being said, done, and out of the way, I'm literally trying to like make some space for a sec, guys, because there's so much going on over here. Right. We're gonna sort of close out the space now with some romance guidance for you guys. And that's about it, guys. So we're going to start with my single fire tribe babies. So again, this is my Aries, Leos, and Sagittarius sun, moon, and rising babies for the month of April, just to see what's the overall romance guidance for you guys during this month. What is the romance guidance spirit for my single fire tribe babies for this month? Okay, new love, new love, new love, guys. This is the path that you're crossing. New love, new love. Oh, wow. So this is going to be different for some of you guys. Okay, some of you guys are actually falling in love again with your career. Because you see the possibilities of it being able to bring you financial success and financial stability. For others of you guys, because you're so focused on your work situation, right? For others of you guys, you're actually sort of like finding that there's somebody maybe in your work dynamic that you are having romantic feelings towards. And you don't necessarily know how to deal with the situation, because it kind of like caught you off guard, and you are thinking to yourself, you want to be able to maybe address it, but you don't know how they're going to take it, and you're not entirely sure about what to actually do as you're navigating through the situation. They've stirred some romantic feelings, but you don't know if they feel the same. And you're a little bit cautious about how to navigate through the process of that. I'm going to clarify this a little bit. Clarify this new love situation for me, Spirit. Okay, okay, okay. They are showing me, so we've got the Ace of Pentacles. um they're showing me that you're pretty much manifesting this kind of situation where you maybe have a pattern where you're quite dysfunctional in the way that you kind of do things, and that may be bleeding over into your romantic situation. So these romantic feelings that are being stirred may not actually be romantic feelings. They may be more sort of like infatuation. They may be lust, but it may not entirely be a love-based situation. But again, it's actually teaching you a little bit more about how you love yourself. Because if you're a chaser, this kind of dynamic is something that you're used to engaging with. If you're not a chaser, you kind of like to have yourself in situations where you're boxed in into feeling unconfident about yourself, or insecure about yourself, or unsure about how you're showing up in your relationships, and spirit's actually helping you to overcome that. For others of you guys, you're actually really falling in love again with your partner, and you guys are actually really diving deeper into your relationship and seeing how you guys can come together in your partnership to sort of like come into love. Like, how can I put it? Because you guys are single. So when I say that, I mean like somebody that you have maybe engaged with before. So you guys may have had a romantic partnership before, because they're clarifying me. They're like, no, these are single. So you guys may have had a romantic relationship with someone in the past, and they're actually probably like coming back in with financial opportunities or career opportunities for you guys both to work on, to kind of like tap into your strengths individually and together as well. So it's one of those things where you are being advised not to misconstrue what's taking place in the situation right now. It is strictly just for the actual developments, if you will, uh, of your business partnership. Okay. So that's just something to bear in mind. If there's any sort of like romantic feelings that sort of like come up, um, it's really just kind of like helping you to focus more on career and helping you to learn a little bit more about your own sort of patterns. For others of you guys as well, this person, you like how they make you feel. You like how they pay you compliments. For some of you guys, that's the sort of like dynamics that you guys are engaging in. Um, they're constantly in your ear, kind of telling you how awesome you are, how great you are, how much they feel like you're somebody that would be an ideal partner for them. So they're kind of like giving these little hints. Try not to complicate things. Now may not necessarily be the time to dive deep into it, because you're still working on some stuff. So this is you basically learning how to set your effective boundaries in place, even if it is a situation where you are attracted to them and they seem to be attracted to you as well. There may be certain aspects of the situation that still needs to be worked out, is what I'm hearing. Let things kind of play out. Don't necessarily make any hasty decisions. Don't dive into anything straight away right now, and don't say no just straight off the bat like that. Just kind of like keep yourself open to engaging with the unfoldings of the situation. Okay, my loves, we're going to go ahead and have a look at the romance guidance for those who are in, committed situations. Okay, those who are pretty much taken and lockdown in lockdown. Okay, what is the overall romance guidance for my fire tribe babies for the month of April? Those who are taken, what is the overall? Okay, guys, that flew out. So let's see. Oh, this is dope. So you guys have got soulmate connection. So the person that you're actually sort of like committed to, the person that you're engaging with, the person that you are, you know, navigating through the lockdown situation with. This is somebody that is, how can I put it? Like, they reflect so many different parts of yourself. They reflect the positives and negative aspects of yourself. But sometimes, okay, sometimes that can be a trip for you in itself. Sometimes you're like, do you know what? I don't actually want to do all of that extra shit. I'm actually okay to just be where I am with myself in the situation. I can't really sort of like be asked to be dealing with this person and constantly working on myself all the time. So some of you guys may not be too optimistic about this soulmate connection that you're having, but you know that they're your soulmate nonetheless. You know that they're not going anywhere. You know that you're not going anywhere. You know that the situation, as complicated as it is just something that you're going to have to work on or work through. And again, that's probably why you're struggling with staying optimistic as you're navigating through it, because you're like, well, damn, like I'm stuck with this person. You know, like they're my person. Like this is what the universe has given to me. I'm gonna have to figure out how to make it work, but they're just so challenging. And again, remember, they're actually reflecting different parts of you back at you. So however challenging you think that they are, that's as challenging as you may be in other relationships, or that's as challenging as you may show up in other relationships. So you already have the key. And let's be clear here, because in your emotional you know, your emotional quest throughout the month of April, we did have the high priest at the bottom of the deck, like unlocking doors and really diving deep into the subconscious realms of the emotional balance of things. So you know what emotions they're sort of navigating through that will warrant certain types of behaviors or actions from them. And what you need to do is act like you know, okay? Act like you know what's really going on, act like you're aware, and really start to respond to it from that place of knowing within yourself, instead of constantly reacting to the shit that they're doing and saying that's what you're flying off the handle. Take some time, take a minute, breathe, let it go, and come back into the space and decide what you want to do, because this is your soulmate situation. Okay. It's just that things right now throughout the month of April, because you're working on your self-love, it's probably feeling more frustrating than ever, because you're tapping into deeper layers of your intuitive system as well. It is going to be like a heightened sense as well. Like your senses are like really, really heightened. You're in the peak of Aries season as well for majority, maybe like halfway of April. So, you know, your senses are really deeply connected to what's really taking place in your environment. If stuff comes up, instead of reacting to you know, the senses and what you're picking up on, maybe just take a minute to actually decide what it is that you want to do. Because again, a lot of the confusion that you were sort of like dealing with in terms of your decisions is either like having people go out the door or you having to withdraw as a result of how things have panned out. And we don't necessarily want to keep engaging in that kind of pattern. So what we want to do, okay, is focus on what is the appropriate action to take in certain situations. Setting boundaries is okay. Putting barriers up is just defeating the purpose of everything that you want to actually achieve in the situation, which is to draw closer and nearer to your soulmate. Okay. So just be mindful of all of that awesomeness as you're navigating through the month of April, y'all. What we're gonna do, we're gonna also just kind of like close out the romance guidance with the, I guess, relationships, because we all need love, like I said, and I don't judge. Okay, we've all been there. um, what is the overall guidance, spirit, for my fire tribe babies in their complicated situationships, right? What is the overall guidance? Okay, very soon, my loves. Very soon. Okay, so you guys are coming together sooner than you think. It's just that, again, right now, it's an unrequited love situation. So there may not be enough chemistry or attraction to keep the relationship going. Like, love is not all that it takes to make a relationship work. It's so much deeper than that. It's respect, it's honesty, it's transparency, it's trust, it's openness. It's about showing appreciation for a person. Like, there's so many other aspects to the situation that you guys are still kind of like finding the right balance to at the minute. For some of you guys, there may be a third party situation involved as well. That may not necessarily be like another person, like a romantic interest involved. It may actually be sort of like friend, family member, um child, if you will, that is kind of, keeping things at a place where you guys are pretty much just kind of not able to come together in the way that you would like to, not able to really sort of pretty much start to move forward in the way that you guys would like for things to be, simply because you guys are still deciding what it is that you want. So let me explain for some of you guys how I'm seeing this. So for those who are dealing with this kind of dynamic where there's children involved, some of you guys, if this is like your partner that you're co-parenting with, you're making decisions based on what is going to be best for the children, and not necessarily making decisions on what's going to be best for yourself. So once you start making the decisions from that place where you're clear that if you want to be in this situation, you want to be in this situation because this is your person, then things will start to actually manifest in that way. And you have to sort of like keep up with the necessary actions that is going to, continue to bring this person closer to you. For those of you guys who are navigating through the situation where you guys have got, maybe your partner's got a child outside of you guys' relationship, or you're the one with a child outside of the relationship, and you're kind of like, basically, oh, I don't really like want to bring you around my child, or my child isn't necessarily feeling too comfortable about the situation, or you're still pondering as to whether or not you want to even be dating openly at the minute. You have to make that decision, bruh. Like, I'm gonna keep it real with you. That's how I'm hearing it. Like, you have to make that decision. Do you like this person enough to be able to navigate through the tension of, like, however your child is going to feel about the situation? Obviously, you're not going to like dismiss your children's feelings. Absolutely, that's not what I'm saying to do at all. I'm simply saying that mama and daddy need love too. Okay, so if you're a single mom or a single dad or whatever the situation may be, and you're trying to navigate through your dating life, you have to really decide if you are wanting to date openly, or if you're going to sit and have that conversation with your child. If your child, for some of you guys, I'm saying that your child isn't necessarily old enough to really understand the whole dating experience. For those types of situations, you've got no excuse in that case. It's okay for you to kind of like get to know people. At the minute, it's a little bit tricky. Again, there's kind of like showing me it's tricky with the kind of dynamics that we're navigating through at the minute. Obviously, we're going through a global lockdown, so it's not as easy as that. But what they want you to know is that if you decide that this is definitely something that you want to do, there's ways to make it happen. So you have to make that decision for yourself. Okay. And for others of you guys, I'm seeing that you're just constantly making decisions like back and forth. One minute you're everything. The next minute is just like, do you know what? I'm not fucking with you today. I can't be asked to deal with your energy. Your vibe is off. And that's all cool. It's okay for you to be able to set your boundaries, but I guess the very soon is in reference to the fact that maybe tomorrow may be a different day. You may be willing to like let them back into your world, or they may be willing to let you back into their world. Who knows how it's going? But y'all know what's going on in your own life. So yeah, however that applies to you, comment below and let me know. Right, guys, let's close out the space with the actual outcome. So, what's going to be the results for my fire tribe babies for the month of April? Let's have a look at it, man. Let's dive into this shiznai. Right. So, Spirit, what is the outcome for my fire tribe babies for the month of April? Clearly as you can, please. What is the okay? Okay, that was clear. They were fairly clear with that. Let's have a look. So for my fire tribe babies, it seems as though, let's have a little look. Okay, some of you guys may be resistant to the withdrawal energy. Some of you guys may be resistant to the withdrawal energy. Sorry, I'm like literally like getting the cards into place. Okay. Right, so for some of you guys, right, what I'm seeing here is that you guys are dealing with like acute anxiety. Okay. There's a lot of thoughts that's just constantly going through your mind, and you're just kind of like worried about again some of the things that is, why you're sort of like stuck thinking about certain things is because there's certain things that you've left unsaid, or there's been certain things that have been left unsaid, so there's a lot of unresolved emotions to the situation, which is why things kind of like are where they are with you guys at the minute. Sorry, y'all. I'm just checking in on what's going on. But yes, it seems as though for some of you guys, the outcome of this particular situation is that you're just overthinking a lot of the disappointments. You're withdrawing from the situation. You're questioning whether or not it was right for you to withdraw, or maybe somebody else withdrew themselves from the space. And you're kind of like, you're basically navigating through abandonment issues, bruh. I don't know how else to put it to you, but the outcome is that you're going to be navigating through mental restlessness due to feelings of abandonment, and you kind of being resistant to this change that's ultimately taking place. You kind of being resistant to the fact that this was necessary, like it had to happen, because there wasn't anywhere that you guys were going to be able to go with the situation. Do you see what I'm saying? What I'm seeing is that this is a major arcana for you as far as the outcome of the situation, um, but it's not necessarily you're not able to move on. Basically, emotionally, you're not able to move on, and it's causing you a lot of mental restlessness. Okay, so that's the outcome. So pretty much by the end of April, with all of this, I guess, decision making process that you're going to have to make, that is going to leave you feeling isolated. You may be feeling a certain type of way about the situation, feeling like, was that the right decision for you to make? And if so, like, how are things going to pan out? How are things going to basically show themselves? There's a fear of the unknown as you're navigating through the energies, I guess, of the outcome of the situation. And it's really kind of like leaving you like anxious. For some of you guys, you may find yourself with waking sleeplessness. So you may find that you're up all hours of the night just thinking about what you could have done differently, what you should have done differently. Woulda, coulda, shoulda, hypothetical realities is pretty much the basis of your outcome for the month of April. And the best way that I can put it to you is that you get what you give. And if you are giving yourselves, how can I put it? If you were giving yourselves less than what you deserve, you would have you would have continued to get more of that same sort of energy. And the universe doesn't want that for you. The universe wants you to be able to really see the love that you have, see the love that you're able to give, see the value that you have. The universe also wants you to be able to understand the value of the relationships. It wants you to understand the value of other people and how they show up in your life, and not just putting yourself necessarily on a pedestal, if you will, um, but really understanding how you guys can be on a level playing field, and how you guys can actually come together and work together um, as a collective. A lot of the things that you are scared of as well is what people are going to think and say about the way that you've handled situations. So it's not necessarily just that you are thinking about the unresolved aspects of the situation, but you're busy thinking about how you could again go back into people pleasing. And that's not necessarily going to help anyone, least of all yourself as well. Shit, like if you have to do some things to learn your lessons, I'm not saying go out here and be reckless, guys, but I'm saying like every obstacle or challenge actually comes as a lesson. It's a blessing in disguise for us. We just kind of have to get through the actual lesson to be able to get to the blessing, to sort of like really realize what it is that we were getting taught in that situation. And maybe as we're navigating through the month of April, you're not going to get the complete clarity that you're looking for. I'm hearing for some of you guys, you may not even get clarity until as late as June or July, you know. So just let things pan out how it needs to for now, and you'll be surprised to see how things actually unfold. Okay, but it seems as though you're unable to move on emotionally and mentally, but you've got this whole I don't want to call it a facade, but at least you're on the surface, it looks like you've got your shit together, because mentally and emotionally you had Queen of Pentacles and King of Pentacles vibes. So you're just focusing on your money, you're focusing on what you're manifesting, you're focusing on pretty much just making sure that you are appropriately manifesting within your partnership. So it's all good. It's not a bad place to be, man. Don't be so hard on yourself, and try not to be too hard on others around you as well, because we're all humans having our experiences in our vessels and shit. Sometimes, like, it's hard to get our humans in check. Trust me. They're very emotional creatures and beings. So, you know, sometimes the soul takes a minute to be able to, like, find its balance with its human, because it's, you know, constantly having to work covertly at a subconscious level. Whereas for some people, you know, if they're really willing to consciously work on themselves, it's easier for their soul to be able to engage. And then it's easier for the soul to be able to, you know, organize the actual avatar, organize the actual human, and, you know, I guess tell the human what to do, and the human's cooperative, and they have more of a functional relationship, as opposed to it being like dysfunctional, where, you know, the soul's trying to guide the human in one direction, and the human's kind of like, you know what, I don't want to do that shit today. I just want to be like a low vibration today, because that's where I'm comfortable at, you know, that kind of stuff, basically, guys. But all of that awesomeness being said, guys, that's pretty much everything from myself. I'm actually going to go ahead and check in to pretty much do the extended readings for my Aries. That's already done, because if you guys have a look on my channel, I actually did the full-on reading for my Aries babies for this month, seeing as we're in Aries season. It's your season, y'all. So I did you guys a little fave. I did you guys a little special for this month. So go and check that out. I'm gonna plug it somewhere in this video, and you guys can go check that out. And for the rest of y'all, okay, Leo and Sagittarius, head on over to my website. Again, that's www.consciouslyconnected.com, and check out my Oracle Guidance channel, where you can get access to the extended readings for as little as £2 to rent it, £3 to purchase it, and £5 for the monthly subscription. Okay, my loves, I'm gonna love you guys and leave it there for you guys. As per usual, I'm sending you guys nothing but love, light, and positive intentions for the month of April. Definitely be sure to comment down below and let me know how you've been able to effectively utilize the info that I've provided you in this video. And be sure to give me a thumbs up if you like my vibe. and you want to subscribe, do so and join the tribe. Okay, and be sure to hit the notification bell. That way you can be kept in the know when I do upload these awesome videos for you guys. And that awesomeness being said, my loves, the girls out. I'll see you guys in the next video where we'll be able to dive deeper into what is coming for my air tribe babies. Okay, my loves? Mwah. I'll see you guys then. Take care.